Hey guys, welcome to the show. This is Mac Reviews. I'm Mac, your messy internet cousin. If you love to watch trashy reality TV, this is the show for you. So today we are talking about 90 Day Fiance, Season 10, Episode 3. This episode was decent. We still didn't get introduced to any new couples, so hopefully next week we do. It's a little odd because usually within the first three episodes we get introduced to all the couples with the 90 Day OG. So not sure why they didn't introduce any new couples on this episode. Let's go. I'm gonna talk about Jasmine and Gino first. So yeah, Jasmine and Gino decided to be their cringy selves. They showed us things that we don't want to see. I fast forwarded through much of their intimate scenes. And I will say this, Jasmine, she got him to pay for her cosmetic procedures and her savings and the I think she wants everybody to see her body. Like I think And I heard I think she did a OnlyFans or something, and this may be why she did this scene. Like she wants people to see. And it's of course if you put money into cosmetic procedures, it's understandable that you want to show off your body, but you can do that without being naked. Like so yeah. And then the other side of the coin is the fact that there's at least four cameramen in the room. Like, how are these people comfortable being sexual in front of literally at least four people who are in the room? Like that is so weird to me. Like unless you are a porn actor, which usually these people are not, I would think. Yeah. So, anyways, so and it was funny when Coco, the dog, jumped on the bed when they were rolling around that end part. And then he was like, Coco, where'd you come from? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's been in the room the whole time watching you creepos. You creepwads. He's been watching. So, anyways, they say their intimacy was great, and Gino saying that as long as they don't argue as much, their intimacy will be fine. So then we get to the part where Gino admits to Jasmine that he quit his job because he wanted to be able to spend time with her to help her acclimate to living in the US. And she's really shocked and disappointed. She starts crying because she wanted him to be the sponsor to bring her children over here and possibly her little sister. So she's concerned that they'll have to wait to be able to start those applications. And I don't know. I mean, she looked like she was crying. I don't know if this was legitimate or not because, Gino said he has enough for them to comfortably live off his savings. So I don't know what she's that worried about. He said that he was going to go back to work at the end of the 90 days. So he said he's taking a sabbatical. Part of me is like, is he just taking a sabbatical or did he fully quit? Because when we met Gino, he said he had gotten laid off and he was looking for work. So like, why would you jeopardize that if you've been unemployed only what 2 years ago? So, anyways, um, yeah, she was a little upset about that, but I don't think she has anything to worry about. If this man was comfortable enough to quit his job and he had all this savings and investments, they'll probably be fine. And they're getting money from the show. So then he does take her for them to get a couples massage, which I actually think was nice. I'm surprised Gino did this. Did she ask for this? Well, I mean, I could see her asking for it, but I was wondering if he thought of this on his own. Surprising if he did. Anyways, so then she tells him about the fact that she spent $10,000 to get the butt implant. Now, I'm up here thinking, did he really not know about this? Because at this point, they've already slept together. He's seen her butt. So, but he seemed really upset. He seemed really angry, started cursing and fussing her out. And He leaves the massage room. He asks the masseurs, masseuses to leave, and um, she's saying, "Oh, I saved up some of my money and some of the money you sent me every month." And apparently, she also got $2,000 from her ex-boyfriend Dane. And my thing is, why he just gave her that for nothing? Like, men don't tend to give you money without expecting anything in return. Now, did he tell her she was getting it for a butt lift or yeah, butt implants or whatever, or did he tell him she needed it for, a hospital, something like serious? I don't know. But she didn't tell Gino that part, and she still has to tell him that part. And she looked really sad that he was so disappointed. She didn't like go off on him and curse him out like we were used to her. And I think it's because she knows she's wrong. So he seemed genuinely upset and angry. But part of me is like, you paid for cosmetic procedures for her. He said that, he's admitted to that. But maybe it's because she didn't tell him she was going to pay for them. I guess in the past she asked for them and he offered them, so he knew about it. But I guess he's mad because she didn't tell him. And she was also upset that he didn't tell her that he was going to quit his job. Once again, they don't have good communication because, yeah, those are decisions that should have been discussed together as a couple. Um, so yeah, that was Gino and Jasmine. Hopefully we don't see them next week. We see the new couples. Next, let's talk about Nikki and Igor. Um, I'm gonna call him Igor. His mama named him Igor, so I'm gonna call him Igor. Coming to America. But yeah, so Nikki is literally on her way to the airport. Her homegirl is gonna drop her off at the airport. Homegirl's pretty. I liked her necklace. And Nikki tells us that they're 9 months into the K-1 visa process. So I'm actually surprised. I didn't know he had already applied. So I guess he's coming. I thought that she hadn't applied yet. So So she's saying that, she wants to see if he's going to pull his weight in the relationship financially, sexually, and emotionally, if he's really committed to being with her, if he's fully invested. Um, but when we learn what we do in a few minutes after that, I was kind of questioning whether that matters to her because the friend lets us know that Nikki has an allowance for Igor. She sends him money and she pays for their vacations. And some of that money has gone to cosmetic procedures for Igor. So this has introduced a factor that I didn't know was there before. Now, Nikki doesn't speak on this. She doesn't say, yeah, I send him an allowance, I do this. She didn't speak on this. It was just the friend that did. And so now I'm thinking this might, be a relationship of convenience. The friend says that Nikki had always been a sugar baby herself and she's never been a sugar mama, so she's surprised. And I mean, I guess it's not shocking considering how he looks and their age difference, but it does make me wonder why, like, she should know what it is then. If this is a relationship, if this is a transactional relationship, like, why are you tripping about whether he's gonna contribute financially or emotionally? That's not his, I mean, and then to hear that, um, to hear that she's giving him an allowance, it would explain why she's hung up on sex because that means that that's the part he's playing. She's paying this man for his time and his attention and having sex with him. So, but I will say this, hearing about the cosmetic surgery, and I don't know, some people are starting to question if Igor is gay, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not really in that camp that you can. look at somebody and tell their sexuality. I'm not in that camp, but I don't know. So now I also again, you said 15 years ago. So I calculated 15 years ago, she's 47 now. She was 32 and he was 21. Yeah. So that's okay. So so she gets to Moldova. He meets her at the airport. He has a huge bouquet of flowers and um, he cleaned his apartment and he picked her up in a BMW. And I was like, how much how much is he making as a personal trainer? She's sending him enough money to be able to buy a BMW? Anyway, so he seemed happy to see her. He seemed glad to see her. He didn't seem uncomfortable with her at all. There were people looking at them as they were walking out. You could see a few people. Um, but they do have a camera crew with them. So people are gonna look most of the time when we see people go to another country, people look because there's cameras. So, and especially in a country as small as Moldova, I don't know if they have a film industry, so maybe they're not used to seeing that. So, um, he seems happy to see her, but when he puts her luggage in his car, he says, "Oh, I hope it's full of gifts." So yeah, at first I was thinking that he may have genuine feelings for her, but now not so sure. But I mean, two things can be true at the same time. He can really genuinely like her. He said she's a nice and sweet woman and appreciate her helping him financially. I think it's so dense and simple that people think that people can't have feelings for someone and want financial provision. Like those two things can coexist, and they do, and they have, and they will again. Like, I mean, we need to use our brains and be smart sometimes. You know, anyways. So he, of course, is nervous about how his family and friends are going to react to her. Some are going to reject, some are going to accept. My thing is, for whatever reason he's with this woman, with Nikki, he has to accept that some people are going to reject him. He's just gonna have to accept that. Like you cannot control that. At the end of the day, if you're gonna be so worried about that, don't be with this person. But and it's not easy. But if you're gonna choose to be with a trans person and you're gonna commit to them, it's what it is. I mean, he's on international television claiming this person. So come on, like so apparently they're gonna have an engagement party and he said maybe like 12 people might attend, which I think that's a great number. That many people agreed. Wow. So, and then he's telling her that he doesn't want them to hang out at night. He wants them to only hang out during the day, and she's suspicious of that. And it does sound a little suspicious. She's wondering if he has a relationship with someone that he met, out in the bars or the clubs or whatever. So, I mean, it's possible because that is a little weird. Why does he not want to go out at night? And she's like, "No, I'm going out at night." Um, so So yeah, we'll see what happens next week with this couple. Next, I'm gonna talk about Ashley and Manuel. So, um, it looks like Ashley and Manuel kind of compromised about the dog. Although the dog did sleep on the bed, Ashley said that the dog ended up making its own little sleeping underneath. So she thinks that the dog, I guess, felt Manuel's energy. I don't know. So, so yeah. So they go grocery shopping and she shows him, the food aisles and explains how everything is organized. And for some reason she shows him like vegan vegan meat, like the fake meat, and he's really confused by this. And I mean, he's not vegan, so they probably won't be eating that. But and then she was showing him like baby carrots and like cut up vegetables, and he was like, "Y'all are lazy." Like, oh my gosh. And I was like, he said, I never thought about it like that, and I didn't either. I don't think it's laziness because like there are times people will have baby carrots and they just eat them as snacks. And then they have the bigger carrots and they cut those up and cook with them. I know some people cook with baby carrots. I don't really cook with baby carrots. If I buy baby carrots, I'm eating them as a snack. So it's not about laziness. I mean, I guess yeah, you can cut up the bigger ones, but whatever. Anyways, so he still hasn't told his mom about moving to the US. Ashley didn't know that he hadn't told his mother or anyone in his family until he had already left for his first flight. And she's not okay with it. She doesn't like that. Um, he's he's saying that he didn't want to tell his mom or his family because he didn't want them to be upset and to worry about him. And he also felt like it was going to be really hard to say goodbye. And it is definitely very suspect. Like you're gonna leave the country and get married to someone and not tell anybody in your family. Like what? Like that is so wild. And then we find out that this man has two teenage kids. And she actually doesn't even know if these kids know she exists. Like, I mean, and then she said it wasn't any of her business. I was like, yes, it is. You're about to marry him. Like, what are you talking about? It is your business. Um, so then she takes him to meet her mom for the first time, and her sister and her sister's husband are there. And mom is really like open to him and really happy to meet him. And she was cute. She was like, I want to use Google Translate to communicate with him, but Ashley ended up translating after that anyways. Um, and so, she's like, oh, I can't wait for y'all to get married and to have kids. And the two of them were like, oh, wait a minute. But we don't know if they want kids or not. So, but when she said that, their faces were like, they ain't look happy. So I don't know, but um so Ashley has told her mother that he hasn't told anyone in his family, and her mom is really concerned about that because she's saying if it were me and my kid left the country and not only didn't tell me they were getting married, but lied because he told his mom that he was just going off to do a job in another part of the country and he'd be gone for a few months. So he not only didn't tell her, he lied. And she was just like, I wouldn't want my kids to lie to me. I just, that would really hurt me. Like, why haven't you told your mom? And he's just like, oh, it's fine. You know, he didn't really give no explanation. And he's like, oh, I knew that I would have to explain this. I knew that, I'd have to, she doesn't ask me about this, but she's gonna have to accept it. I'm like, what? Boy, I will say this about Manuel. I don't know if he's been married before, but I don't think he understands that in marriage, it's not just like my way or the highway. It's not just like this is how it is and who cares about your feelings. Like when you're married, you have to compromise. You're a unit. It's not just you. You by yourself independently and another person by themselves independently. It's um you're a unit and you're gonna have to compromise some things and be uncomfortable sometimes and make sacrifices for the sake of the unit. And I don't know if he understands that. You can't just tell people, well, this is just how it is. That's not how it works in a relationship, in a monogamous committed relationship. That's not how it works. So he's gonna have to find out. So, she's explaining to him why it bothers her that he hasn't told his mom. And what we didn't hear Ashley say was, when are you going to tell your mother? But she ended up telling him like, hey, I don't feel good about this, and he had cooked or something which they didn't fully show it. It looked like either maybe rice and chicken or rice and shrimp or something. And she liked it. And she's like, listen, you need to tell her. So he ends up going to tell his mom. Now I want to say this. I do think that Ashley and Manuel so far their communication isn't that bad. Like it's pretty good. Like they're not yelling and screaming. They're not disrespecting each other. When one gets upset, they walk away, they take a break. Like their communication is pretty good. It's pretty good actually. So well, so far, we'll see. but he does agree to tell his mom. And I'm gonna say this, I was just a little bit confused because he calls his mom on her laptop, WhatsApp or something, and or whatever program they used, and Ashley says hi to the mom. And we haven't been told if she's met his mom, but she calls her mother-in-law, but we do not hear his mother address Ashley. So I don't know if she addressed her, and then if and then also, people don't just appear on the show. Like the producers have to ask them to agree. They have to sign waivers. Like, so the woman had like, if she didn't know, how could she have agreed to be like? It doesn't make sense. Did they just call? I don't know. I don't understand. Because if he didn't tell her she was in the U.S., what show did he think she was on? Why did he think Ashley was there? So I'm not sure if she didn't know or not, but he tells her, and then she's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And he said some kind of crap. I don't know what it was, but he was like, "I love you," and uh, she did look pretty stern. So maybe it was real, but maybe they did everything. That conversation that they had where she said you need to tell him, maybe that was like the day before, and then he called his mom and he agreed to be on camera and stuff. Maybe, that was over 2 or 3 days or something. But, the mom just says, I love you and I don't know when I'm gonna see you again. And, she's definitely disappointed and sad. Um, and then Manuel tells us that he's always provided for his kids and his siblings and his family. So he says he wants to be able to keep doing that. And so we know now that he's partly in the US because he wants to make more money. And again, people multiple things can be true at the same time. He can like Ashley, be attracted to her, want to be with her, and also want to make more money to support his family. Things do not can In real life, things are not mutually exclusive. I mean, they have sometimes that happens, but usually there's multiple motivations going on, and it's not hard to believe. So, now is Manuel like a husband and like a you know, I don't know, like a quality man who seems like he's ready to commit and ready to communicate properly and all those things. I don't know. She's the one who told us that he was a fuck boy and he's less so in his 30s. So, marrying fuck boys, ladies, yeah, fuck boys change. I don't think so. I don't know. So we'll see. I am gonna say again that I do think Manuel is good looking. I never find anybody on this show good looking. So yeah. Okay, so lastly we're gonna talk about Rob and Sophie. And this couple, Rob is gonna annoy me. Rob is going, and I knew it from when he was like, "Y'all can kiss my ass because I want a good looking woman and I'm shallow." And I'm just like, that's not, why does he think that's unique? Like, and why is he getting aggressive? Why would you be judged for wanting to be with somebody who you're attracted to? That's almost everybody on the planet. Like, that's not abnormal. Anyways, I'm saying this now because I overlooked that and I thought that Rob was just gonna be like goofy, somebody I could just laugh at throughout the show. But now I'm seeing he ain't gonna be funny because you know, um, he ain't gonna be funny. So it's the next morning and she is talking to him about the inconvenience of the bathroom being outside. And, you know, Sophie so far is communicating pretty well. She's just saying, hey, this is inconvenient. This is not sustainable in the long term. And he's just like, hey, it's not that bad. You're not missing out on anything, you know. And I'm like, well, she is missing out on something. She's missing out on the convenience of having a bathroom um in the same like place as where she sleeps, like in the same room as the bedroom. She is missing out on that. Like, and then he said, "Oh, you're bougie. You used to live in places all over the world." And I'm like, it's not bougie to want to have a bathroom in the same room as your bedroom. What is he talking about? What? So, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm down to earth. I'm gonna bring you down to earth." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. So, being down to earth means not wanting to have a bathroom in the same room as your bedroom or in the same building where your house is or your apartment?" He ain't making sense. And I think he's insecure because then in the confessional, he says, "Oh, he doesn't want to talk about this because and about moving to another place because it makes him feel inadequate and like he's not doing enough and it makes him mad at her and not want to talk to her." And I'm like, "Why do you feel inadequate?" Um, she's not insulting him, she's not putting him down, she's not calling him broke, she's not being insulting. She's not doing anything to make you feel insecure. That's you. You know, like, um, so I didn't like that I'm down to earth, I'm gonna bring you down to earth. It's like, what? You know that meme of that one basketball player? But he's like, what? Um, because he seems pretty down to earth actually. She doesn't seem like her head is in the clouds because she's asking for a bathroom to be in the same room as where the bedroom is. Like, he sounded so dumb. Um, and so then we find out that Sophie says that she's been financially independent since she moved out of her parents' house. She said she started waitressing and then she did the social media thing and she lived in Mexico, which, probably was cheaper to live in. If she was making the social media money, the money, the British pound probably went further living in Mexico. But, oh, and apparently he visited her when she lived in Mexico. Um, So yeah, so she says she's been financially independent for years, and she doesn't ask her family for money, which was shocking to me, to be honest. That was very surprising to me. Um, she says she doesn't feel right about it. She wants to like work for her own money, which I guess is admirable, but eh, and then so she says she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't feel right about it. And then she tells us that Rob has asked her to ask her family for money. So Rob, I don't know. Does Rob want to be taken care of because of how he looks? I don't know. I don't know if Rob is trying to get money. But because the other side of the coin is that she said she wanted them to move into another place. And we know, those of us who have been watching this show for at least 2 or 3 seasons know that the K-1 visa process can take up to a year. We know during the pandemic, it took up to 2 years. On season 9, we had like 3 couples that met before the pandemic and didn't see each other for almost 2 years before the person got approved to come to the US. So this man had at least a year or two to get a new place. Okay. He could have found a studio with a bathroom in there. If he didn't want to get a full apartment, like, why has he not anyways? So, um, so when they were on the beach looked beautiful, of course, and he was looking at a picture of a girl, he said, who was dressed like Dora the Explorer, but it was like booty shorts, which means it was probably a sexual photo. And I'm sitting up here like, why are you looking at photos of other girls while walking on the beach with your girlfriend? Why is your phone not in your pocket and your attention on her? Like, she just got there. That was so wild. Like, and he was like, "What are you looking at?" And he was like, "Oh, it's nothing, whatever." And um, he's just like, "Oh, I don't look in your phone. Why are you looking at my phone?" Now, the reason she's looking in your phone, Rob, is because apparently you were talking to other women and sending sexual photos to them, and he's not sure if she can trust you. Which later she brings up. She brings this up because well, because the producers told her to, but also because in the back of her mind, she's wondering if I marry this man, can I trust him to be faithful to me? And as soon as she brings it up, this man immediately. Now, I don't know if they edited this, but the way they made it seem, it appeared like he immediately went, "When are you gonna let it go?" He immediately gets upset. He immediately is like, "Oh, I didn't cheat on you. You need to let it go. Why are you asking me about this?" Like he was being so rude, so short with her, and I was like, "Why is he talking to her like this?" And then he says that it wasn't cheating. She says it was. But he doesn't explain clearly why he believes it wasn't cheating. I still don't know what he meant. He was like, "Oh, this girl sent me, somebody messaged me and I responded and it was only an hour or a day, so that's not cheating." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like what he said was so vague. Like I did not, and I'm like, what the producer should have asked was, why does she believe it was cheating? That's what they should have asked. Because why would she think that if that's not what was happening? Um, he gets really angry and defensive. He speaks to her so disrespectfully. She says she thinks that she sees the guilt in his eyes, and I'm like, girl, no, he don't feel guilty at all. He doesn't believe he did anything wrong. Like I could not believe he talked to her like that and went off on her like that. I was like, girl, why him? There's a bunch of other biracial, light skinned men out here who have better attitudes. Jordan Sparks is married to one of them. There's several of them. Like, what are you doing? Tolerate this. So yeah, like oh, that was so wild. I don't like Rob now. I really thought he was just gonna be goofy and just I wouldn't take him seriously, but like oh, I didn't like his attitude. And then he said something too. He said, "I don't want a relationship where she's checking on me. I just want a mellow, chill relationship." And when he said that, I was like, "Wait a minute. Are you saying that you want an open relationship? Like, does he want monogamy?" Like that almost sounds like he's saying he wants an open relationship. I don't know. But he said he better not talk to her like that again because if he does, he's leaving him. I'm like, girl, you need to leave now. You think if he could speak to you like that and he didn't apologize, and even apologizing is like that's kind of like a creating a cycle of toxicity. But if he doesn't apologize and he thinks speaking to you is okay like that, he'll speak to you like that again. So, I mean, I also side note, I wasn't gonna talk about this, but Sophie is wearing a wig and she's a beautiful girl. But this wig could be better. And I wonder, does she have any black girlfriends or just white girlfriends, any girlfriends who are wig girls, wig girlies who could, teach her about how to get a good lace front human hair wig because she's so pretty, she could do better. But anyways, and also, um, I don't know for sure, but it looks like Sophie's had some work done. And it said that she's only 23 years old. And it's just like I hear about girls so young getting caught, and I don't know for sure if she did. I don't know. Looking at her photos, maybe they're photoshopped, but I don't know. Anyways, so we'll see what happens with this couple. I don't think I'm gonna like Rob, and I'm still trying to figure out why she's with him. I guess I don't know. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about Rob's rude behind. Let me know if you think Igor genuinely liked um what's her name, Nikki, and wants her money, or if it's just one or the other, or he just wants the money. And also let me know what you think of Van Well not telling his family about Ashley. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.